Okay, so this person is asking what I think about, like, the documentaries that are labeled, like, the worst cases of Tourette's and are framed in that way. What are my thoughts on those? And let me tell you, I have a lot, and I'll just, like, say a few right now. But firstly, as December points out in this comment, like, tic severity ebbs and flows, and, you know, while tics can look one way one day and look really severe another day or week or month or year, they can look a different way another day or week or month or year. So when a lot of these documentaries are talking about people with, like, the worst cases of Tourette syndrome, and you're watching it as someone with Tourette syndrome and you're like, oh, my tics have actually been like that before, but I don't think that I have, like, a horrific case of Tourette syndrome. Like, there's some dissonance there. And, you know, maybe the people in these documentaries, like, their tics stay at that severity level and, like, ebb and flow around that severity level all the time. But this also leads into another really big point of what I think about these documentaries, is that it kind of silos what people think of as, like, Tourette severity and what Tourette severity means. So what do I mean by that? So severity can be looked at from a lot of different ways, and there is the social model of disability, the medical model of disability, and in my opinion, Tourette syndrome encompasses a lot. Like, both of those models of disability have a huge place within the Tourettic experience. But when you're talking about, like, specifically, like, looking at someone and being like, oh, their case is really bad or they are really severe, we have to think about what you mean by that, because sometimes if a doctor is looking at a certain case and using the YGTSS, which I think is a deeply flawed scale, that's for another time, when you're looking at tics from the outside, there are times that maybe you're like, oh, that person's really severe, and the person themselves is like, wait, this isn't impacting me in a way that I would call severe. An instance of this may be like, okay, say they're doing a documentary and someone has the worst case of Tourette syndrome or whatever, and their tics are primarily vocal and coprolalic, meaning that they, you know, have to tic curse words or socially derogatory remarks, inappropriate things, right? And that's affecting them very much socially. But then if you ask them how much it's really impacting them outside of that, and they see, like, the way that they look at their disability, the severity is like, oh, how much it hurts me, how much it affects me physically, and that is little to none. You're looking at different goalposts for what severity is and what makes up a worst case or any type of case of Tourette syndrome.